Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at one of my favorite scenic filming spot locations because it's a little bit of the lifestyles of the rich and famous. Why is that? It's because of this vehicle right here. This is it. This is your updated, changed up, refresh 2024 Mercedes Maybach GLS 600. But before we get into this ultra premium luxury SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. It all goes back to the year 1900, the turn of the 20th century. That's when Wilhelm Maybach and Daimler created the first Mercedes vehicle. Lots of history with the Maybach name and Mercedes being that premium level of coach building style and luxurious finishes. Now, for many years, things were separated, Mercedes-Benz, Maybach. But in 2014, Mercedes and Maybach came together, and that's where we start to see the creation of some very unique vehicles together between the two entities. Now, what's fascinating is going all the way back to when Wilhelm and his company were creating these special vehicles. Fast forward to the 21st century, you're gonna see some mind-blowing amenities that you really don't get in a lot of the top luxury SUVs. Now, what would be a competitor to this full-size GLS 600? You're looking at the big boys, the Bentley Bentayga and the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. So what I wanna find out is this Maybach the king of those full-size luxury SUVs, or are you better taking your money and going with the Bentayga or even the Cullinan? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this refreshed example and find out. Right off the bat, the color. It really fits it to a T. It reminds me a little bit of Porsche's chalk color mixed in with some Audi Nardo gray. And it really fits the lines very nicely on this vehicle. Now, at the front of the business, you're gonna see some refresh things going on. Of course, we're gonna have that full LED lighting. Love the way that Mercedes has adapted technology into their lighting, turn signals, the daytime running lamps, and of course your full LED headlights. Working your way down, we're gonna have to have a little bit of a zonk. This area is not functional and it's a little too over the top. All of these little designs that you see, that's actually the Maybach logo. And now you can get Maybach in a lot of different things, purses, bags, sunglasses. That is where that logo is. I think I would be a little bit more accepting of this if there was like LED illumination with them, so all of these would light up at night. But during the day, it looks a little too busy. And the fact that this one is not functional, but yet the one on the passenger side I'm gonna show you is functional, kind of makes me scratch my head. Now, as we come across that refresh, updated grille, I love the clean, classy, vertical slots, all chrome. We now have the Maybach name on the front of the vehicle. This is something new for 2024. You'll notice where they placed the forward-facing camera. Lots of shiny chrome finish, so I hope you have your Maybach sunglasses. I'm sure that you do. And a couple of their other accessories if you're driving one of these. On the lower portion, a little bit more chrome, and then we have that functionality in the center. And let me show you on the passenger side, we have the Maybach logos all over the place, but this area is functional. So it would have been nice to have it functional on both sides, but definitely has a luxurious feel to it. Now, one of the things that kind of went away on Mercedes-Benz products is, of course, that silver star. Looking at that nice hood ornament, I remember back in the day, there were people that would actually take these off, would rip them off of cars in parking lots and stuff, and then wear them as a piece of jewelry. But nice to see that with this Maybach, not only do you get the Maybach name, but on this GLS 600, you're also getting that classic silver star hood ornament, and hood ornaments are becoming a thing of the past. Now, the Cullinan probably has the most wicked of all the hood ornaments because you have that spirit of ecstasy that actually raises and lowers when you park it so that nobody takes the spirit of ecstasy with them. Little 5-finger discount, but definitely still looking classy and looking perfect on this GLS. Love the bold hood. You get a little bit of luxurious bump on that hood, and then everything else just kind of fades over into the fender lines. Now, as we come around the bend, get ready for this big change. And when I say big, we're talking massive. You're looking at a new 23-inch wheel, forged aluminum, believe it or not. So it's actually not as heavy as you think it would be spinning around. Multi-spoke that's been hand polished. I love the way that they did the Maybach Mercedes lug covers, just to give it a nice clean look. You got ginormous two-piece rotors, fully cross-drilled and ventilated, nice size calipers. Of course, this is riding on adaptive air ride suspension, raise and lower. And then if you're wondering, well, Joe, what is the size of this tire? Up front, you're looking at 285 on the width, 40 series on the sidewall, and I love how they have that beautiful paint all over that fender. Now, as we come down the side, you do have color match on the mirror caps, 360-degree cameras. You even got the Mercedes-Benz name on the LED side marker turn signals. You do have a aluminum raised roof rail, aluminum style on your door frames. All the way around the trim is this illustrious hand-polished aluminum. Some chrome finish on the door handle, and then on the lower section, same thing. You got a little bit of gloss black, it extends down, and you have that shiny chrome finish. I guess one of the things that I would have liked to have seen is a little bit more consistency in the cohesive materials. Instead of having the shiny chrome, just give me this aluminum finish. I think would have been a little bit classier and more contemporary. Because when I think of chrome, most of the time I think of like fuddy-duddy cars. And this is definitely not a fuddy-duddy car. Working your way towards the rear, you got that large rear door. Wait until I show you what Maybach has done with this Mercedes. We got massive fender flares, and I'm gonna have Steven kind of swing around and just show you how massive that fender flare is. Tires are 325s on the back. Now remember, this is rear-wheel drive base, but of course we have that 4MATIC all-wheel drive suspension and everything for the Mercedes, and this one definitely has it tenfold. Good size on the quarter window, and then on the rear pillar, you'll notice once again the Maybach logo. Now, as we swing it around, stubby roof spoiler. You know how I feel about this, especially on a vehicle that's as, prestigious as this one. This wiper should be tucked underneath, but of course we got the Maybach name. Love the way they're doing the freaking LED lighting. Very, very nicely done. The Silver Star GLS 600. You got the chrome trim. Like I said, not my favorite. I would have liked just some aluminum, some chrome on the bumper so that your kids, when they're pulling out their, maybe their rugby gear or lacrosse gear, they're not gonna scratch the paint job. Give you a little bit of protection there. And then working your way down, we do have functional exhaust. And I love the way that they put this horizontal bar in there just to give it a little bit of different look. It's got that aluminum finish around. They did the rear lower bumper nice and stylish. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk horsepower of this Mercedes. All right, guys, we got the hood pop. Now, on some of the other competitors, they have like maybe just an average engine that you just see day in and day out. This particular engine is hand assembled, and it's that sweetheart of an engine. And I'll tell you a little bit more in a second. You do have a lot of plastic cover, but I do like the way you have the Mercedes, that Silver Star logo, and then of course the Maybach logo. There's the bi-turbo setup peeking from behind the plastic engine cover. But what do we have? We have that 4-liter bi-turbo V8, 550 horsepower, 538 pound-feet of torque. This thing will do 0 to 60 in about 4.1 seconds. And remember, this has also the Mercedes EQ boost, which is that 48-volt hybrid system. But 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds, top speed 155 miles an hour. It's bolted to a 9-speed automatic, traditional torque converter automatic, all-wheel drive, that's that 4MATIC. MPGs, 15 in the city, 19 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 6,100 pounds. So very interesting to see this kind of power and that kind of performance when you're looking at the competition. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire it up and hear what it sounds like. right, guys, we are inside this 2024 Mercedes Maybach GLS 600. Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon? Because you feel a little bit extra classy in this type of vehicle. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I've sold some properties that I have owned for a couple years. I want to kind of cash in and buy that over-the-top vehicle. Cullinan is too gaudy for me. I'm thinking Bentayga, but I'm liking this Maybach. How much is it? Very good question. Starting MSRP is $175,000. This one has an MSRP well over $200,000. But let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. I love the black leather trim, the contrast stitching, that dark real wood finish there. You got your seat controls mounted up high, 3 memory settings, and of course massage, heated, ventilated, and you have the Burmester sound system. Look at those speaker grill covers. I mean, they are like handcrafted aluminum by a true artisan. Working your way down, more of that leather, the nice aluminum finish. Even in the lower portion of the door panel, that speaker grill and the fact that there's a speaker that size in the door panel lets you know that you're going to really be hearing the symphony of sounds. Very well done. Door pocket is a good size, large enough for like a Louis Vuitton bag, or maybe if you're going to Starbucks and you're getting yourself a special mocha latte, crappy latte chino, you could put it in the door pocket there, and a couple of their baked goods. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, same thing. Leather, the stitching. I don't know if Steven could show you, but you do have ambient lighting, which you could change a multitude of different colors. Love the dark wood finish. Leather on the whole glove compartment. Open it up. We have our Maybach specific diffuser fragrance scent right there. You could change that out, get different scents. And then sliding on in, we got our major digital information center. So you have your large 12.3 inch infotainment system, obviously full touchscreen. I like the way it actually has a GLS 600 as the little icon there. You hit home, very easy swipe features. You got your Mercedes Me store. You could go into comfort. This is where you have look at all the different massage settings we have here. I mean, the list is endless. Classic massage, wave massage. You could do energizing comfort. I go back home. We got off-road. Check out that capability. All the off-road gauges. Love the way it's got the clear graphics. We go back. How about engine info? Look at that. Our adaptive air ride suspension. The whole shabam. Throw it into reverse. Super clear resolution. You can select different camera angles. It's got more cameras than when they put a man on the moon on this Mercedes. And then we're right back to park. Working our way down. The ambient lighting. The stitching. Love all that nice toggle switches. And then more of that wood finish. Open the door. What do we got? Wireless charging, 2 USB-Cs, a 12 volt, 2 cup holders, and you could cool or heat your drinks with the ambient lighting. You got a trackpad, real actual volume, dynamic control. So if you don't want to touch the actual screen, you could actually touch all the buttons and switchgear. We got our Maybach logo there with the wood. Nice oh crap handles for the passenger. They could hold on nicely with the ambient lighting. I love this aluminum trim in there. And then, of course, more leather on that armrest. Open up the Bombay doors. You do have felt lining. You could easily put, I would say, about $1 million in there. No, not $1 million in cash. 100 grand bars. And you have a USB-C. And then you got the Napa leather flown in from Italy. The stitching, the bolstering, multi-adjustable power, of course, for the passenger, for the driver, the leather up top on the headliner with the stitching, full panoramic sunroof, and the fact that they have all these speakers in here. But why don't you get your butt over here? I want to show you behind the Maybach steering wheel in our Mercedes. All right, guys, come on in. You're the king of this castle. Love the way they have the Maybach name. Illuminates at night, LED. You have your nice sill plates. And then check out the pedal box. Some pedals that look like you could hang them on the wall or wear them as earrings. Aluminum brake pedal, throttle with the Maybach logo. The only zonk is I would like a Maybach dead pedal. All you get is a carpeted dead pedal with like the aluminum finish down there. Sides of the seats, leather everywhere, even on the lower portion. Seats feel so comfortable, you almost feel like you're sitting at home. Lots of space. I'm over 6 feet tall. Well, technically I'm 6 feet tall. Not over 6 feet tall, but 6 feet tall. Steering wheel, the leather, you got the Maybach name. I guess the one zonk you could give it, it's still the standard GLS 600 steering wheel. Would have been nice to get a fully custom steering wheel, but I love the stitching on the horn button. Gloss black on all the switch gear. You do have paddles that are metal on the back of the steering wheel to go up and down. That 9-speed automatic. The wood finish, leather everywhere, like I said. And then, of course, you do get the column shifter. That's going to help you shift that 9-speed, go into the different directions. And then you got your 12.3-inch digital gauge cluster. What I like about it is how you could easily scroll through a plethora of different information in the center, which is really cool. And you could then also just bring up and have that navigation super clear there. I want Steven to focus on the infotainment system one more time, because we got our different modes, of course, individual, sport, comfort, special Maybach mode, only for this vehicle. And you can see engine and suspension is specifically set for the Maybach. That is a nice touch. And then, of course, you have the curve mode, off-road. I mean, they got so many different modes in here. And individual, you could set up your preferences exactly the way that you want. And a massive head-up display. But why don't we go ahead, the big surprise. I think a lot of people say they want to sit up front in this vehicle. Wait until we see the back seats in this GLS 600. All right, guys, this is like a rolling oasis. This is where Maybach comes into play and really lays the smackdown on the Bentayga. And I'm even thinking on the Cullinan with some of the touches back here. So you're gonna notice, obviously you gotta have the Maybach logo, that nice dark wood LED lighting. I love the way they have AC vents in the frame here with leather on the actual frame railing. You don't see those kind of touches in most luxury SUVs. Then sliding on in, of course you're gonna have more leather, AC vents, all your AC controls, which are dual climate. But then here's where things get a little crazy. The dark wood finish, open door number one, watch this. Slides down, you got your heated and refrigerated cup holders, and you also have the ability to put your champagne flutes in here and lock it in so it doesn't fall over while you're being chauffeured around. We got 2 USB-Cs, a very interesting location for wireless charging, I guess because it's just readily available, but it kind of protrudes in a very confusing kind of way. Close that up. A little bit of gloss black, but there's leather poured everywhere. Of course, you're gonna have your little control pad for everything that pops out. You could check how your stocks are doing, maybe your Bitcoin, whatever you got going on. Did it go to the moon? I'm so glad I don't see those posts anymore all over the internet when they're like, to the moon, to the moon. I'm kind of over it. Come back to earth. You'll notice the leather all throughout, more AC vents. So you have a total of 2, 4, 6 AC vents back here. And then watch this, magical fingers. Power security shades. When the paparazzi's coming after you, put that up, block the world out. And then these seats are a thing of comfort. Of course, you have full recline capability. You do lose the 3 across in here, so you can't sit 20 people in here, but the 4 people that are in this vehicle are gonna be freaking spoiled rotten, especially the people in the back seat. But this feels phenomenal, but I'm not done. We got more wood finish, another Maybach logo. We're up to 1,400 Maybach logos on this vehicle. Open this up. This is where you're gonna have your champagne flutes, obviously non-alcoholic champagne, maybe some sparkling apple cider or maybe some sparkling grape juice. And then wait, look at this. You actually have a freaking full fridge in here for a few bottles, cans, whatever you got in that rear compartment. Close it up, and then this is what I'm sitting on with the seats. You have that microfiber pillow for a pillow. How many vehicles do you know that? Pillow for a pillow? Look at the Napa leather. This is new. This pleated stitching is new for 2024. You got the official leather pillow, Maybach, look at that, perforated. And of course you have the power adjusting reclining seats. That's why you lose the third row, and that's why it's kind of bulky back here, because of having all these amenities. But let's get into the cargo area and see what the heck we could fit back there in this Maybach. All right guys, rear cargo area, hit the button, nice electric assist. You would think you're gonna be greeted to a bunch of space, you're actually not. Now, the one thing I do wanna point out is you do get leather actually on the security shade, on the rear liftback, the Maybach logo. But what is hindering our cargo space, of course, is some of that luxury amenity. It's the back of that refrigerator in this Maybach, and it's like this vehicle was built for the fridge, who played on the Chicago Bears back in the 1980s, Super Bowl champs, of course, doing the Super Bowl shuffle. You got your fridge, but you're gonna lose some of the cargo space. So barely can you fit one carry-on on each side. It's gonna be a little tight if you try to double stack it, but you're looking at 19 cubic feet of space with the rear cargo area. It's all about the compromises, but you know what? If you're ready, I'm ready. I wanna go drive down Rodeo Drive in this Maybach and see what on throttle feels like. All right guys, we are in this 2024 Maybach GLS 600. I'm gonna come to a stop. I have it in sport mode. On throttle, here we go. Wow. This is where that 4-liter bi-turbo V8 engine is gonna lay down the law with that all-wheel drive system known as the 4MATIC all-wheel drive system, getting the power to the ground very efficiently, very effectively at all 4 corners. Now, going down the road, even in sport mode, this vehicle is absolutely smooth as silk. You have great visibility, the information is laid out so well, and all of the touch areas are wrapped in leather. The one place that they missed is the top of the steering column. That should have been wrapped in leather as well, so we'll zonk that. But other than that, they've pretty much nailed every other part. Very, very stylishly done with the leather, the stitching. But going down the road, that air ride suspension just takes the stress out of the whole driving experience and really makes it soothing and calm in here. The fact that you could easily go into your infotainment system, all touchscreen. If you don't want to touch the screen, you could use the trackpad, but you could go right to comfort, and then that's where you're gonna get your massage going on. So we could just go classic massage, driver's side, start, and it's on like Donkey Kong. And it does a really good job feeling like actual hands massaging you rather than just these mechanical devices kind of moving in and out of your back and your legs and whatnot. It does a really good job feeling real, and I like that. Of course, that back seat area, all the amenities, and the fact that you could have your cold, fresh, sparkling apple cider in your glass bottle, and the way that you could just place it down and it's not gonna fall over if we take a sharp turn. And remember, turning in this vehicle is so easy because we have the rear wheel steer. Now, like I had pointed out, because this is a Maybach, we do have the ability, I'm gonna just go back to navigation here and just keep that up. We do have the ability to easily go into that special mode. So there's comfort, and then bam, you got the Maybach logos. Love the clear graphics. That has an all new level of driving experience in this GLS 600. Love seeing the hood ornament smack dab in the center there. And the fact that you're just wrapped in this environment with ambient lighting everywhere. You got those beautiful speaker grill covers placed so strategically that when you're listening to music in here, it sounds so fantastic, more so than in other vehicles that we've tested at this price point. But going down the road, you don't feel a bump, you're not getting a lot of road noise, you're definitely not getting any wind noise in here, and that's pretty phenomenal with those 23-inch forged aluminum wheels and tires. 325s out back. But this really is that executive level of driving. All right, guys, we're back in sport mode on throttle. Here we go. Like the way you do get some sound into the cabin. Nothing too obnoxious, nothing too crazy. Going into this tight left-hand turn here really does well with the rear wheel steering. And that's where this large SUV feels very, very small. Here we go, on throttle! Yeah! Nice smooth shifts from that 9-speed automatic. And I'm telling you right now, for a large SUV, especially with all the amenities, this thing does not have a ton of body roll when you're in sport mode. And that really is great because of the different modes that we have. There is a distinct difference between each one, which is really nice. But the visibility in this vehicle is fantastic out the front. One thing just to point out, looking out the rear, it's a little on the tighter side because of that high back where they have the rear speakers and all of the motors and everything for the rear seats, for the power seats and all that, and for the refrigerator. It's kind of crazy to say refrigerator in a car, but it is a little high back there. But other than that, it really, your chauffeur should have no problem navigating with his vision out the back window area. But I think one of the things you're going to be very well surprised is that people notice this thing immediately, and they know that it's not just your standard Mercedes-Benz vehicle. And I think that's one of the touches that why people want a vehicle like this is to stand out from the rest of the crowd and have that special luxury driving experience. I mean, just to put it in perspective, a Lincoln Navigator Black Label is passing me on the driver's side here, and he's been looking at this vehicle like he just made the wrong decision. And there he goes. But comparing it to a Bentayga, I like the power delivery. I love the way it rides and drives. And that rear seat area, we did the extended wheelbase version of the Bentayga, and I'll leave that video at the end of this one. It blows, this thing blows that thing out of the water when it comes to the amenities on the interior, especially the back. All right, guys, here we go once again on throttle. That 9-speed drops down. It's freaking crazy just how proficient of a gearbox that 9-speed automatic is, and how well tuned it is for the different modes. You know, if you have been considering a larger SUV, but you've never driven one, this is definitely going to be not only one of the highest level luxury experiences you've ever had, but with the rear wheel steering, it quickens up the steering and it tightens up the turning radius of the vehicle very, very well. And it's one of those things that until you experience it, you don't really realize what rear wheel steering does for you. But in this vehicle, it is a heaven sent because it makes light work of driving this SUV. But let's go on throttle. On throttle, here we go. Nice shifts. And I'm telling you, it's like one of those vehicles that if you're a chauffeur and your clients need to get to the airport immediately, this is the vehicle to do it in. And the fact that you have all the safety features that are going to allow you to keep you and your passengers very, very safe and sound. The head-up display is a super nice touch. But the modes is where it's at. The way that they've tuned the modes in this vehicle is phenomenal. You could shut off that start-stop very easily right by the start-stop button. And that stops that whole automatic turning on and off. But the ambient lighting, all of the aluminum finishes is just exquisite in here. And then the fact that you get to go on throttle, here we go. Look at this. But I'm hoping that this has been a nice, in-depth, overall review of what Mercedes is bringing for 2024 with this Maybach GLS 600. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I will see you in a luxury minute. All right, guys, it's been one of those days where you're asking people for Grey Poupon and you're just living the lifestyle of the rich and famous with this 2024 Mercedes Maybach GLS 600. Definitely want to thank everybody at Mercedes-Benz for getting us access to this press fleet vehicle. Let me know what you think. Is this worth the price? Is it the king of the full-size luxury SUVs compared to the competition? Let me know down in that comment section what your thoughts are. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rides family. Of course, we need to give up Stephen Flood Photography. Once upon a time, he actually did his photography at a music video session, filming session, and they actually had 12 Maybachs on the set that Stephen got to film with his camera, each one individually. So check him out on Instagram. It's real easy. Flood Photo or Photography. Show him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.